Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fifth episode of VMware Runs on VMware podcast series about digital transformation, where we speak with VMware IT thought leaders and get insights on how we achieve digital transformation at VMware. I'm Sarita Kar, Senior Manager at VMware IT and your host for this series. In the first three episodes, you heard CIO Jason Conrad, IT CTO Jerry Abraham, and Head of Engineering and Architecture Rupa Raj talk about the organizational impact, the foundational decisions, and the SaaS mindset that is so essential for digital transformation. In the fourth episode, we went into the details of how we embark on our multi-cloud journey. To listen to these earlier podcasts, check out the links given below. Today, we will discuss how VMware IT built, runs, and manages the modern apps platform powered by VMware Tanzu. I'm delighted to have with me today IT Senior Director Varinder Kumar and IT Manager Manas Singh. So let's dive into the conversation. Welcome, Varinder and Manas.
Hi, Sarita.
Hey, hi, Manas. Hi, Varinder.
Hey, Sarita. Thank you.
So, Varinder, tell us, what was the need to move to a modern app platform? How does one decide which apps to modernize?
Sure, Sarita. So, starting point is always the empathy for the users and stakeholder of the app, along with the developer and operator who build or run the applications. Building traditional apps doesn't account for the technical debt that gets accumulated over a period of time. At VMware, we realized early on that we need to switch to a model that supports agility in each phase of the application lifecycle, be it for the user, developer, or the operator. This led us to visualize a modern application platform to support all the persona who interact with the applications. When we started on this journey, we started with a small application which was refactored into 3 to 4 microservices. With this, we gained valuable insight after running these applications, which help us to identify that agility for any enterprise can be achieved by focusing on the 3 primary pillars: scalability, manageability, and observability. And we focused on these 3 key pillars and made great progress in our journey. The choice of apps to modernize is easy. The one that needs agility and is able to sustain a rapid pace of the change is the right candidate for modernization.
Thank you, Varinder. Those are really useful insights, for anyone who is at the crossroads today and needs to make a decision on which apps to modernize. And I think the Log4j issue last year also made us realize the need to reduce the accumulated technical debt and the importance of maintaining the agility of applications. And I like the fact that we started small and then we used our learnings to scale up. And I guess the next question may be obvious, for which I will come to you, Manas. Why choose VMware Tanzu?
Sarita, as Varinder described, there are 3 major focus pillars, and Tanzu products address those pillars and have provided the capability to achieve required agility at the platform level so that we can make do with a small platform team and a large team of developers who only focus on developing the applications needed. Let's talk a little about scalability. We chose Tanzu Application Service and Tanzu Kubernetes Grid as the heart of this modernization journey and platform. These platform as a service offerings provided us with the required on-the-fly scaling capabilities, and we are now able to spin up workloads based on load conditions. The manageability pillar, both Tanzu Kubernetes Grid and Tanzu Application Service provided us with the facility of seamless patching and upgrades without affecting the workloads. Finally, imagine the challenges of observability. When you have a platform that scales easily, if you consider the traditional environments, monitoring had to be configured manually or custom automation had to be written. Manual work does not scale, whereas custom automation requires tender loving care. We address both these challenges by adopting the VMware Tanzu Observability by Wavefront for our entire stack. It provides us an out-of-the-box dashboard for Tanzu Kubernetes Grid and Tanzu Application Service Platforms, which enabled the visualization of metrics almost immediately. It also provided us with the extensive alerting options out of the box.
Thank you, Manas. And as an operations person, I agree wholeheartedly, on the challenges of observability. I've worked on traditional environments in the past, and I know exactly what you're talking about on manually configuring monitoring. It certainly is a huge pain, as is the custom automation as well, which needs a constant updation. And I'm glad that we've been able to solve this problem with an out-of-the-box solution with VMware Tanzu Observability by Wavefront. It makes life so much easier, while ensuring that we can scale with agility. And for all this, I'm sure there would be architectural changes involved. So, Varinder, what was the specific re-architecting that we did to run the applications on our CDTO modern app platform?
Sure, Sarita. So we had a comprehensive review of all application stack and categorized application into 4 buckets. The application that are candidate for the re-architecture, the rehost, the replatform, and retire. We then formulated a plan for each bucket and took them forward. Specifically, the application that went for the re-architecture were chosen to move away from the technologies or the infrastructure that made them harder to migrate. At the end of this exercise, we had a large pool of applications that were ready for the modern application platform. These applications can then effectively follow cloud native principle and be hosted based on any infrastructure, whether it is a public or private cloud or a combination of both. A specific example of this reliance on the infrastructure is the application that use network file system NFS as backend store. It was very hard to migrate those applications, but during re-architectures, we ensured that this moved to an object store based on the backend store that helped their migration to any type of the cloud.
Thanks, Varinder. And it is so important to sort the storage out before we take it to any cloud. And now that we have re-architected our application, one critical question that comes up is deployment to production. Manas, how did we handle deployment?
So we ensured centralization was at the core of our deployment strategy. The driving objective for this was anytime, anywhere deployment. As long as we have an endpoint infrastructure available, our pipelines can be targeted to that and bring up the application as needed. This helped us progress on our availability targets as well. If you look at our modern application platform, you will see that the deployment pipelines are based on VMware vRealize automation. They are an intrinsic part of the platform itself. These pipelines not only help us deploy our applications, but some parts of the infrastructure as well.
Thank you, Manas. Anytime, anywhere deployment is something that developers always want to hear. And I'm happy that we can provide them that flexibility. So we figured out how to re-architect the applications and deploy them, but there still remains another important concern, and that is security. So Manas, how do we ensure security on this platform?
We implemented security at multiple layers. Some measures are built into the platform, whereas others are executed on the artifacts, and some are executed on the runtime instances of the artifact. Examples of these are like always using certified base images from Tanzu application catalog for any artifact we build before deployment. Always using application vaults for storing credentials required by applications to run by DevOps pipelines. Our DevOps pipelines directly pick these credentials from the vault instance. So there is no manual intervention needed to push the credentials. Ensuring encryption of data at rest, ensuring use of SSL for data in transit, deploying micro-segmentation rules for only authorized endpoint access. So these are like some of the things what I've talked about, but there are many more security measures which we've implemented to provide security at different layers.
That definitely assures me. And I know the common concerns that are raised by the security teams are typically, do we have encryption at rest? Do we have encryption in transit? How are we restricting the access to authorized access only, etc., right? So thank you, Manas, for putting all those concerns to rest. Varinder, you have led us on many successful transformation journeys at VMware, be it the conventional applications of the past to the modern application platform that we are discussing today. So how different is it to operate using a modern app platform than the conventional application operation?
Yeah, sure. I believe the biggest driving factor towards modern application platform was agility. Considering that each component is designed for agility, everything from self-service access to a namespace to automatic hostname configurations to access those freshly deployed applications is implemented in a way to support agility with the right check and balances in place. This is compared to with conventional application operation in which everything doesn't work automatically, and in most cases a lot of manual intervention is needed to run our day-to-day operations.
Totally agree on the agility piece, Varinder. And yes, we would like to certainly do away with all the manual intervention needed to run the day-to-day operations. So Varinder, looking ahead, what is your prediction for the future of the CDTO modern app platform?
Personally, I see more spotlights on agility and self-service of all the persona that interact with the modern application platform. I believe self-service is the key to make sure the modern application platform is adopted by the users. Other thing is the zero trust related check and balances and the processes baked into the platform, application, and the pipeline for the security. I also see more focus on hybrid cloud or multi-cloud deployments. And very few are ties into a specific type of infrastructure or particular type of cloud. I also foresee that in the future, we will run application out of any infrastructure, be it private or public cloud or hybrid cloud.
Thank you, Varinder. The future looks bright indeed when we achieve agility and self-service for all the personas and not just the admins, and where applications are not tied into a specific infrastructure. And that brings us to the end of our 5th episode on digital transformation. Thank you, Varinder and Manas, for sharing your learnings on how VMware IT builds, runs, and manages the modern app platform powered by VMware Tanzu.
Thank you, Sarita, for hosting us.
Thank you.
I am sure our listeners have gained valuable insights on not only making a migration such as this possible, but also on how to run and manage it on a daily basis with minimum human intervention. To learn more about the app modernization journey of VMware IT powered by VMware Tanzu, check out our blogs on our microsite vmware.com/company/VMware on VMware. All you need to do is use the search term VMware Tanzu. We hope you liked this episode, and if you did, please do drop us a comment below. We'll be back with another IT digital transformation story in the next episode of this series. Stay tuned.